In just the past few hours, officials telling us 18 of the 67 victims' families have been notified so far, and the remains of 41 of the victims have been recovered. Crews telling us most of today's focus has been on that Black Hawk helicopter that remains in the Potomac River. The low-altitude helicopter corridor near D.C.'s Reagan National Airport is closed indefinitely, says the FAA. The agency shut down what's known as Route 4 this morning as the investigation into Wednesday's deadly collision between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines jet continues.
We most likely had a multitude of different issues, whether it be from understanding where a plane is, what our altitude is, what the speed is.
Answers that could be in the jet's flight data and voice recorders, known as black boxes, recovered last night. Some aviation industry experts and former pilots are focusing on the Army Black Hawk, which mirrors a report in the New York Times that suggests the helicopter may have been flying higher than it should have been, and possibly outside of its approved path on the Route 4 corridor. That means at or below 200 feet above sea level.
I've flown this route too many times to count. You stair step down your altitude and you keep that 200 feet plus or minus, 10, 20 feet.
It's possible with all the reflections of the light being over the water that they crept up.
The change of runway for the American Airlines jet could also be a factor.
It could have drifted them a little bit further into the path of that Black Hawk if there was some altitude discrepancy that the Black Hawk wasn't holding.
The preliminary NTSB report could come in 30 days. Final findings may take a year.
We're not going to put something out quick just so we can end some speculation.
And aside from the terrible grief that the victims' families are experiencing, D.C.'s Fire and EMS chief says it's been difficult on the roughly 500 people that have worked on the site, and that mental health support will be available for them as many still work to get the fuselage out of the water and recover the remaining victims. At Reagan National Airport, I'm Brian Abel reporting.